And it was here that three of the greatest civilizations of the ancient world flourished: Babylon, Assyria, and Sumer. Among their ruins, the faithful have long sought answers to the Bible's most profound mysteries, while archaeologists scoured these lands for the historical foundations of belief. Our quest for Eden is a journey back in time. First to Babylon, the last of these lost civilizations.
On the rim of the Serengeti Steppes, scientists found remnants of a skeleton now more human than animal. Its age, 2 to 3 million years old. There are 9 million years difference in the age of these two specimens. When did the mutation from animal to human actually occur? We don't know. Closer to us, the Neanderthal man. He first appeared about 150,000 years ago, in the Paleolithic era. He died out 100,000 years later. Why? We have no idea. A completely new race of humans come into being. Cro-Magnon man. He got his name from the place where he was found, Cro-Magnon in the Rhone Valley in southern France. A human being from the Ice Age. His accomplishments in a number of areas is remarkable. He knew a regulated social order. He discovered a tool we still use today, the needle. He used it to sew his animal skin clothing. We look at his cave paintings in France and Spain with amazement.
A city plan, a map of the universe, and a model of colonial outposts on Earth, complete even to the agricultural terraces that make farming possible in the mountains. The terraces in the Peruvian Andes, for example, have been in continuous use for centuries. They reach upwards to the ruins of an ancient city, complete with temple, astronomical observatory, and a fortress to guard the crops. Did the founding colonists design these mountain stepping stones for settling the planet? Sacsayhuaman is a megalithic fortress presumably built by the Inca. The snake marks a stone so heavily magnetized, it will cause a compass needle to spin wildly. Legend says the Inca kings received a special power from this stone. With it, their empires spread from the Pacific coast to the Amazon jungle, leaving a record of accomplishment wrapped in enigma.
To use the ancient pottery, the ancient city walls, the ancient weapons as illustrations of biblical stories that all of them had been taught from their childhood.
Fueled by the excitement of early finds, scholars from all over the world raced to stake out claims in a kind of biblical gold rush. Competing British, German, and French archaeologists descended on the Holy Land. Teams of theological detectives digging for both God and country.
If you have a relatively short time frame to deal with, then searching for a lost civilization becomes much more complex and much more difficult. But if you have a very long time frame to deal with, there's much more material to investigate.
Was the city of Petra always known as Petra? From the Bible, we learn that the oldest name for Petra is Seir.
Beneath the rose-red cliffs of Petra, an ancient city carved into sandstone holds mysteries that have puzzled scientists for centuries.
First organization of human beings that deserved to be called a civilization.
Recent discoveries in this lost city have surprised experts, challenging our understanding of ancient civilizations. As shadows reveal new celestial alignments on the grand facades and columns during the equinox, we are left wondering, what secrets do the stones of Petra still hold?
I don't think we're looking at coincidence here. There's too much going on. I think coincidence is a very weak explanation for what's happening.
The story of Petra, often called the Lost City, stretches back to as early as the 4th century BCE, when it was founded and rose to prominence by the 1st century BCE as the capital of the Nabatean kingdom. Nestled in the cliffs of vibrant red, white, pink and sandstone, Petra was at the heart of a bustling trade empire. Its strategic location on the spice trade routes connected it with far-flung regions from China and India to southern Arabia, and on to Egypt, Syria, Greece and Rome.
You go to Egypt and you'll find influence of the Nabateans. Everywhere we look, we find some reference at some time to the Nabateans.
The city thrived not just commercially but culturally and architecturally, demonstrating advanced techniques in water conservation. Its engineers crafted an intricate system of dams, cisterns and water channels that sustained both the city's population and its agriculture through harsh desert conditions. However, following its annexation by Rome in 106 CE, Petra began to experience a slow decline. Initially, it flourished under Roman influence, but as trade routes shifted towards the sea and devastating earthquakes struck in the 4th and 6th centuries, the city gradually lost its former glory. By the time the Islamic conquests swept through in the 7th century, Petra was reduced to a shadow of its former self, mainly inhabited by a few local Bedouin tribes who lived among the ruins and closely guarded its secrets. Throughout the Middle Ages and well into the 18th century, Petra remained enveloped in obscurity, particularly to the Western world. The Crusaders controlled the region briefly in the 12th century and even established a fortress there, but knowledge of Petra's once grandeur was limited to local tribes and a few knowledgeable Arab scholars. The renowned 14th century explorer Ibn Battuta mentioned Petra during his travels, describing it as a remote place with buildings impressively carved into rock faces. This period in Petra's history mirrors that of another ancient city, Machu Picchu in Peru, which also remained hidden from Western awareness until its rediscovery in 1911 by Hiram Bingham. Both cities were advanced in manipulating their natural environments, Petra with its sophisticated water management systems, and Machu Picchu with its terraced fields and intricate urban planning. The prolonged European ignorance of Petra lasted until the 19th century, with the region fading into the realm of myth and legend. Many in Europe were completely unaware of Petra's existence, despite ancient texts hinting at the architectural marvels that lay hidden in the Jordanian mountains. This mystery persisted until explorers reintroduced Petra to the Western world, bridging the gap between ancient lore and modern recognition. Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, born in 1784, was a Swiss traveler and scholar whose profound curiosity and academic prowess led him to significant contributions towards the Western understanding of lost or lesser-known ancient sites. Mastering multiple languages and immersing himself in various cultures, Burckhardt developed a particular fascination with Petra, an ancient city whose whereabouts had slipped from European knowledge. In preparation for his explorations within the Ottoman Empire, Burckhardt relocated to London in 1806, where he joined the African Association, an organization committed to the exploration and mapping of Africa. He further honed his expertise at Cambridge University, studying Arabic, geography, and the cultures of the Middle East. It was here that he meticulously constructed his alter ego, Sheikh Ibrahim ibn Abdallah. This identity was not just a cover to mask his European roots and exploratory motives, it was a deep dive into cultural assimilation, allowing him safer passage and a more authentic experience in predominantly Muslim territories. Burckhardt's journey to Petra began in 1812, framed as a pilgrimage to sacrifice at the tomb of the prophet Aaron on Mount Hor, which cleverly concealed his true intent to locate and document Petra. He had pieced together clues of the lost city from discussions with local traders and vague references in ancient manuscripts. His travels from Syria to the Arabian Peninsula were fraught with challenges, from regional conflicts to the unforgiving desert landscape, yet his guise as an Islamic scholar provided him crucial cover. Upon his arrival in Petra, Burckhardt was met with the breathtaking view of the Sikh, a narrow gorge stretching over a kilometer, flanked by towering walls as high as 80 meters. This passage led him to Petra's most famous and enigmatic structure, Al-Khazneh, or the Treasury. Carved directly into the blush-colored sandstone cliffs, its facade displayed an exquisite blend of Nabatean, Greek, and Roman architectural elements. Petra's entrance, known as the Sikh, is far more than just a gateway. It's an architectural wonder in its own right. This narrow gorge, carved directly from the towering sandstone cliffs, stretches for about 1.2 kilometers and varies in width from a mere 3 to 16 meters. As you walk through, the walls, which soar to heights of over 80 meters, dramatically frame your approach, guiding you towards the heart of Petra, ending at the magnificent Al-Khazneh. Along the Sikh, you'll notice a series of ancient water channels, a testament to the Nabateans' advanced hydraulic engineering skills. They devised these systems to capture and conserve the scarce desert rainwater. The strategic narrowness of the Sikh also offered a natural defense mechanism, much like the historic pass of Thermopylae in Greece, providing a fortified barrier against potential invaders. At the end of the Sikh stands Al-Khazneh, or the Treasury, which, despite its name, was likely built as a mausoleum or temple around the 1st century CE. This iconic structure is renowned for its stunning facade, decorated with a blend of Hellenistic architectural elements and native Nabatean motifs. It features a grand portico supported by 6 Corinthian columns and is adorned with intricate bas-reliefs, including depictions of Castor and Pollux, twin brothers who were revered in mythology for their role in protection and safety. The urn perched atop the facade fueled local legends, with Bedouins believing it concealed ancient treasures, hence the name the Treasury. This blend of myth and architecture draws parallels to the ornately decorated temples of the Egyptian pharaohs, which were also rich in cultural and mythological significance. Petra's architectural landscape is a rich mosaic of influences, reflecting its historical significance as a cultural and trading hub. The city's structures blend Nabatean rock-cut artistry with classical Greek, Roman, and later Byzantine styles. This fusion is visible not just on the facades but throughout the city's layout, which includes a Roman-style colonnaded street and a theatre capable of holding over 3,000 spectators. Carved directly from the rock, Petra's theatre echoes the design of ancient Greek theatres such as Epidaurus, yet it is uniquely Nabatean in its execution, showcasing their extraordinary skill in stone carving. This architectural diversity highlights the city's role as a melting pot of various civilizations throughout history, each leaving their mark on its stones and streets. Among the monumental structures in Petra, the monastery known as Ad-Deir stands out for its architectural splendor akin to that of the Treasury, yet it occupies a more secluded and solemn location. The journey to reach the monastery is an adventure in itself, involving a challenging climb of over 800 steps carved directly into the rock, which naturally limits the number of casual tourists who visit. Originally constructed as a Nabatean temple in the 3rd century BCE, the structure was later repurposed as a Christian chapel during the Byzantine period. Its facade, adorned with a massive urn and framed by towering columns, rivals the grandeur of the Parthenon in Athens. However, the isolation of the monastery adds a layer of spiritual retreat, contrasting with the civic pride of the Parthenon. Petra's allure as a mysterious and adventurous location was catapulted into popular culture by its appearance in the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The movie features Petra's treasury as the fictional entrance to the final resting place of the Holy Grail, which not only captured the imaginations of viewers worldwide, but also significantly boosted tourism to the site. This depiction in the film perfectly aligned with the themes of discovery and exploration, underscoring how media can dramatically shape the perception and economic realities of archaeological sites.
What do we date modern Indian civilization back to? Is it 5,000 years
since
ago?
the Indus,
4,000.
Yeah, since the discovery of the Indus Valley civilization, you know, we have to accept that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old.
Deep within the heart of India, a breathtaking structure lies hidden in plain sight. The Ellora Caves, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stand as a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. Carved entirely out of solid rock, these awe-inspiring temples and monasteries raise a question that has haunted historians and archaeologists for centuries. How did ancient civilizations, without the aid of modern tools, manage to excavate a staggering 200,000 tons of basalt? Were they merely masters of manual labor, or did they possess knowledge and technologies lost to the sands of time? The discovery of the Ellora Caves in the Aurangabad district of Maharashtra, India, opens an intriguing chapter on how ancient sites in India came to be known to the global community. These caves, exemplary of monolithic rock-cut architecture, present a fascinating study of cultural evolution and historical rediscovery. Initially, the Ellora Caves were vibrant centers for activities central to the local community's spiritual life. Over centuries, the shifting dynastic and religious tides on the Indian subcontinent saw a decline in their prominence. The rise of other religious centers and the gradual decline of Buddhism, which had significantly influenced the early phases of the caves, contributed to this diminished status. As political instability grew, the caves' roles evolved, resulting in decreased usage. Interestingly, this period of obscurity helped in preserving the Ellora Caves. With fewer visitors and minimal economic activities, the caves suffered less wear and tear, which protected their original artworks and structures from significant alterations or damage that active religious sites typically undergo. Despite fading from prominence, the caves were not forgotten. Local folklore and traditions played a crucial role in keeping the memory of the caves alive among the rural populations. These tales, blending historical facts with mythological elements, added a mystical dimension to the caves, maintaining their significance in local culture. The broader recognition of the Ellora Caves came with their rediscovery by John Smith, a British officer, during a hunting expedition in 1819. Drawn to the area by his curiosity about the source of the Mula Mutha River, Smith stumbled upon the caves almost by accident. This serendipitous discovery marked a pivotal moment, introducing the caves to the wider world. Smith's initial reports generated considerable interest among the British colonial administrators and scholars. The early sketches and descriptions of the caves began circulating in British academic circles, sparking further explorations and detailed studies. These initial European encounters with the caves were instrumental in framing the subsequent archaeological and artistic studies. Figures like James Ferguson, who visited the caves following Smith's reports, played a significant role in documenting the Ellora Caves and arguing for their significance in the context of global architecture. Ferguson's work particularly helped classify the artistic and architectural styles of the caves, providing a scholarly foundation that would contribute to their recognition as a site of profound historical and cultural importance. The scholarly work initiated by figures like James Ferguson set the stage for a deeper appreciation of the Ellora Caves, not just as historical structures, but as masterpieces of cultural and architectural significance. Carved directly into the Charanandri Hills basalt cliffs, the 34 caves at Ellora are a remarkable achievement in rock-cut architecture. The choice of basalt, a particularly hard volcanic rock, necessitated the use of sophisticated tools and techniques, showcasing the advanced engineering and stonework skills of the era. The layout of the Ellora complex resembles a rich tapestry of diversity, segmented into three main groups based on religious affiliation. To the south, the 12 Buddhist caves display the earliest phase of religious expression. The center houses 17 Hindu caves, indicative of a middle phase, while the 5 Jain caves to the north represent the final addition to this spiritual landscape. This arrangement not only mirrors the chronological evolution of the site, but also the shifting dynamics over several centuries, possibly reflecting the prevailing religious influences during different periods. Each group of caves is distinguished by unique artistic styles and iconography, aligned with the tenets and aesthetics of its respective religion. The Buddhist caves, for example, are adorned with images of the Buddha in various poses, alongside narratives from his life and scenes depicting Buddhist lore. In contrast, the Hindu caves feature an array of Hindu deities and rich mythological themes, demonstrating more elaborate artistic expressions as time progressed. The Jain caves, though fewer in number, are meticulously detailed with carvings of Tirthankaras and intricate geometric designs, highlighting the precision and depth of Jain artistic philosophy. Over the centuries spanning approximately 600 to 1000 AD, the styles and architectural techniques at Ellora evolved significantly. The earlier caves, primarily Buddhist, feature simpler and more austere designs, reflecting the initial phases of rock-cut architecture. As the focus shifted towards Hinduism with the rise of Hindu dynasties like the Rashtrakutas in the 7th century, the caves began to exhibit more sophisticated and ornate embellishments. This trend continued and even expanded with the later addition of Jain caves in the 9th century, underpinned by royal patronage, which introduced larger sculptures and complex multi-storied structures to the site. As we delve deeper into the architectural prowess demonstrated at the Ellora caves, the sheer scale of the endeavor becomes even more evident. Carved into the hard basalt cliffs of the Charanandri Hills, these caves are not just a showcase of ancient art but also a monumental engineering achievement. The Kailasa Temple, also known as Cave 16, is particularly noteworthy. It's estimated that about 200,000 tons of basalt were removed using rudimentary tools like hammers, chisels, and picks. This amount of rock removal dwarfs that of the Parthenon in Athens, making the temple all the more impressive. Comparing these feats to other historical constructions puts the Ellora caves in perspective. For instance, while the tombs of the Valley of the Kings in Egypt are also carved into rock, the limestone used there is much softer than the basalt at Ellora and the scale of excavation smaller per tomb. Additionally, the construction of the Roman Colosseum involved quarrying and transporting stone blocks, rather than carving directly into bedrock, highlighting the unique challenges faced by the artisans at Ellora. The labor required for such a massive undertaking at Ellora was immense. Hundreds of artisans would have worked in shifts, continuously, over several decades. This not only required physical endurance, but also advanced planning and precision. The artisans had to ensure that each layer they carved matched the overall design perfectly, as any mistake would be irrevocable. They likely used a combination of geometric planning and three-dimensional visualization to achieve this level of detail. The sophistication didn't stop at carving. The use of iron tools during this period in India was critical, enabling the artisans to shape the hard basalt effectively. These tools were not just for fine detailing, but also for removing large volumes of rock, demonstrating the advanced metalwork techniques of the time. Furthermore, the hydraulic engineering incorporated into structures like the Kailasa Temple was ahead of its time. Sophisticated drainage systems were designed to manage the heavy monsoon rains typical of the region. These systems, which included channels and gutters carved directly into the rock, were crucial for preventing water damage and erosion. This approach to water management, focusing on local water diversion, contrasts with contemporary systems like Roman aqueducts, which transported water over long distances but addressed different engineering challenges. An intriguing theory about the Ellora caves adds another layer of complexity to their design. It suggested that the layout and orientation of certain caves may align with specific astronomical events, such as solstices and equinoxes. This alignment could mean that during these key times of the year, sunlight would dramatically illuminate specific sculptures or carvings within the caves, creating a play of light and shadow that was both symbolic and spectacular. Such celestial alignments would not only have enhanced the aesthetic and spiritual experience, but also demonstrated a profound understanding of astronomy. As we further explore the complexities and grandeur of the Ellora caves, it becomes clear that their art and iconography are as diverse and profound as the engineering feats behind their construction. The Buddhist caves, far from being mere retreats, are vibrant narrative canvases that tell the story of Buddha's life and teachings through detailed sculptures and architectural designs. Cave 10 is a prime example, featuring a large stupa overlooked by a colossal statue of Buddha in a preaching pose. The walls around it are richly adorned with scenes capturing key moments from his journey towards enlightenment and his subsequent efforts to impart his wisdom to others. In contrast, the Hindu caves at Ellora are dominated by dramatic and intricate reliefs of gods and goddesses from the expansive Hindu pantheon. The most notable among these is Cave 16, the Kailasa Temple, which is not just an architectural marvel but also a canvas for mythology. Carved to represent Shiva's mountain abode, it is replete with scenes from the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and the various exploits of Lord Shiva himself. This cave stands out as a monumental freestanding structure, sculpted entirely from a single rock, showcasing an entire mythological narrative in stone. Similarly, the Jain caves, particularly Cave 32, known as the Indra Sabha, feature meticulous carvings that reflect Jain values of symmetry and asceticism. These caves are adorned with delicate carvings of lotus flowers, celestial beings, and intricate geometric patterns. The detailed depictions of the Tirthankaras in various poses of meditation and teaching further emphasize the Jain philosophical outlook and its emphasis on tranquility and enlightenment. Drawing an interesting comparison, the nearby Ajanta caves, although similar in being a rock-cut complex, present a different artistic and functional focus. Exclusively Buddhist, the Ajanta caves primarily served as monasteries and prayer halls, and are renowned for their exquisite wall paintings and sculptures that depict scenes from the Buddha's life and the Jataka tales. Unlike Ellora, Ajanta features caves with horseshoe-shaped facades and lacks the architectural diversity seen in Ellora. Each cave at Ajanta is dedicated to a single tradition, whereas Ellora presents a more eclectic architectural panorama, including the astonishing Kailasa temple. This diversity at Ellora not only highlights a broader spectrum of life, but also showcases the evolution of rock-cut architecture from purely monastic uses to elaborate temples and intricate pilgrimage sites, carved into the face of the same mountains.
There is a certain wonder in caves that you just don't find on the surface. The opportunities to see things that so few other people will ever see. Occasionally, we do find unusual creatures that live there. It's still very, very much an unknown world.
Sun Dung Cave in the heart of Phong Nha, Kaibang National Park, Vietnam, holds the title of the world's largest cave.
This cavern, I mean, you can't imagine how tall this is right now.
Aptly named Mountain River Cave, this immense cavern boasts a river running through its vast expanse. The cave's discovery is a fascinating tale of chance and exploration. In 1991, a local farmer named Ho Khan stumbled upon its entrance while seeking shelter from a storm. Despite this early discovery, the cave's true enormity remained a mystery until 2009, when British cavers, led by Howard and Deb Limbert from the British Cave Research Association, conducted a thorough exploration and mapping of the site, unveiling its full grandeur. Sun Dung Cave is staggeringly vast, measuring over 5.5 miles in length. Its ceilings soar up to 650 feet high, with some sections stretching as wide as 490 feet. To put this into perspective, the cave could easily accommodate a New York City block complete with 40-story skyscrapers. The main passage alone is more than 3.1 miles long, ranking it among the most expansive underground spaces ever discovered. The sheer scale of Sun Dung is mind-boggling, making it a true natural wonder. The geological formation of Sun Dung Cave dates back approximately 2 to 5 million years. The cave was sculpted by the persistent flow of river water, eroding the limestone beneath the Annamite Mountains. Over time, the roof of the river's tunnel collapsed, creating massive skylights that allowed sunlight to pour in and a jungle to flourish within the cave.
That hole up there collapsed and dropped all of this rubble here.
Sun Dung Cave is renowned for its monumental stalagmites, some of which reach towering heights of up to 230 feet. These majestic limestone formations, created by the slow drip of mineral-rich water over millions of years, are among the tallest in the world. To visualize their scale, consider that the largest stalagmites in Sun Dung are taller than the Statue of Liberty. Equally impressive stalactites hang from the cave ceiling, forming intricate chandeliers of stone. A dynamic, fast-flowing river courses through Sun Dung Cave, primarily fed by seasonal rains. This river has sculpted the cave's smooth rock formations and carved out deep, crystal-clear pools and lakes. During the rainy season, the river swells, rendering parts of the cave inaccessible due to flooding. These aquatic features not only enhance the cave's aesthetic, but also contribute to its unique ecosystem. The sound of rushing water echoes through the vast chambers, creating a serene yet powerful ambience. The river's erosive power over millions of years is responsible for much of the cave's enormous size and intricate rock formations.
The sound here, or the lack thereof, is deafening.
In a remarkable natural phenomenon, sections of Sundung Cave host their own thriving ecosystems, often referred to as the Garden of Eden. These jungles exist due to roof collapses that have created large skylights, allowing sunlight to penetrate the cave's depths. This natural light supports the growth of unique flora, including small trees, ferns, and mosses, which thrive in the humid environment. The sight of a verdant jungle flourishing hundreds of feet below the surface is surreal, making these areas look like a lost world hidden beneath the earth. This lush greenery contrasts starkly with the surrounding limestone formations, adding to the cave's mystique. Sundung Cave's floor is sprinkled with rare cave pearls, a natural phenomenon where layers of calcium carbonate accumulate around grains of sand over centuries. These pearls, some as large as baseballs, are formed in pools where water agitation keeps the nuclei in constant motion, allowing even coating. The presence of such large and perfectly rounded cave pearls is exceptionally rare, making them one of the cave's most fascinating features. One of the most iconic formations within Sundung Cave is the Hand of Dog stalagmite, a structure resembling a giant dog's paw. This formation has become a popular landmark for explorers, symbolizing the cave's grandeur and the whimsical shapes nature can produce. The Hand of Dog serves as a point of reference within the vast expanse of the cave, often appearing in photographs that capture the cave's interior. Its unique shape sparks the imagination, adding an element of wonder and personality to the already awe-inspiring cave environment. The cave walls of Sundung are adorned with ancient fossils, providing a glimpse into the region's prehistoric past. Among these fossils are remnants of marine life, indicating that this area was once submerged under a vast ocean millions of years ago. These fossilized remains include imprints of shells and skeletal fragments. Exploring Sundung Cave is not for the faint of heart. The journey to the cave itself is arduous, involving a trek through dense jungle and rugged terrain.
I kind of like to be surprised, you know. Holy cow!
Once inside, the challenges continue as explorers navigate through vast underground chambers, some of which require swimming or using ropes to climb. The cave's sheer size and complexity pose significant challenges for mapping and study. This adventure is both physically demanding and mentally exhilarating, attracting only the most intrepid adventurers and scientists. Given its pristine condition and ecological significance, ongoing efforts are in place to protect Sundung Cave. The Vietnamese government, in collaboration with environmental organizations, has established strict guidelines for tourism and exploration to minimize human impact. Only a limited number of guided tours are permitted each year, ensuring that the cave's delicate ecosystem remains undisturbed. These measures help preserve the cave's natural beauty and ecological integrity, allowing future generations to experience this magnificent natural wonder. The Cham civilization, which flourished from the 2nd century to the 17th century in central and southern Vietnam, was a sophisticated culture known for its advancements in maritime trade, architecture, and sculpture. The Cham people, predominantly Hindu, left behind numerous architectural marvels, including towers and temples that served as religious and cultural centers. The Cham towers are celebrated for their distinctive red brick construction and intricate carvings that adorn their surfaces. These structures are remarkable for several reasons. The Cham builders used a unique method of bricklaying without mortar, fitting the bricks together so precisely that they appear seamless. This technique remains a subject of study and admiration among modern architects and archaeologists. The towers are embellished with detailed carvings that depict Hindu deities such as Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, as well as mythical creatures like Garuda and Naga. The reliefs often illustrate scenes from Hindu epics, showcasing the Cham's artistic prowess and deep religious devotion. Structurally, the towers typically have a rectangular or square base with a high tapering spire, symbolizing Mount Meru, the center of the universe in Hindu cosmology. Each tower was part of a larger temple complex that included sanctuaries, assembly halls, and gates. While not directly adjacent to Sundung Cave, notable Cham towers in the broader region include My Sun Sanctuary and Po Nagar towers. These sites provide context for the Cham presence in the area and are crucial for understanding their architectural and cultural impact. My Son Sanctuary was rediscovered in the late 19th century by French archaeologists, including Camille Paris, who first documented the site in 1898. Subsequent explorations were conducted by Henri Parmentier and others in the early 20th century. My Son served as a religious center and the burial place for Cham kings and national heroes. The site contains over 70 temples and towers constructed between the 4th and 14th centuries, representing the height of Cham architecture. The sanctuary's towers are arranged in clusters, each dedicated to a different deity. The most prominent structure is the B1 Tower, dedicated to Shiva, featuring elaborate carvings and a symbol of Shiva. Ponagar Towers, located in Nha Trang, were documented by French explorers in the 19th century. The site has been a place of continuous worship since its construction, which dates back to the 8th century. The Ponagar complex was originally built to honor Yan Po Nagar, the goddess of the Cham people, who is believed to have created the earth, eaglewood, and rice. The site also became a center for Buddhist worship over time. The towers at Ponagar are characterized by their ornate carvings and the use of sandstone for detailing. The largest tower, dedicated to the goddess Po Nagar, stands over 75 feet tall and houses a statue of the goddess sitting on a lotus throne. The Bin Din Towers, located in the Bin Din province, showcase the later Cham architectural style, which includes more ornate carvings and the use of sandstone in addition to brick. These towers were built between the 11th and 13th centuries.
Nobody builds something that big underground just for fun. You don't do that unless you have to.
Right.
You don't burrow like a human ant nest.
Yeah. Human beings are so weird in so many ways.
Yes.
The story of the Longyu Caves discovery begins quite unassumingly with Wu Anai, a local farmer in the small village of Xi'an in Zhejiang province, China. This region, picturesque with its lush landscapes and traditional farming, was not known for archaeological treasures.
It's really important to understand that archaeology is often driven by accidental finds.
However, the persistent issue of a village pond that wouldn't dry up, despite extensive efforts to pump it for irrigation, piqued the curiosity of Wu and his neighbors. Determined to find the reason, they funded the use of rudimentary pumps, and after 17 days and over 20,000 cubic meters of water pumped out, they uncovered what appeared to be a man-made cavern entrance, revealing the first of the Longyu Caves, later dubbed Cave 1.
Someone made it, and it involved a very large amount of organized labor. There had to be the will and the intent in order to do that.
This cave, an architectural wonder with exquisite hand-chiseled carvings, stairways and sturdy columns, was just the beginning. Word of this remarkable find spread rapidly across the region, capturing the imaginations of both the public and the academic world. The discovery was so stirring because of its unexpected nature and the sheer magnitude of the caves. Motivated by the initial find, the local community continued to fund the exploration, and by the end of 1992, 4 more caves had been identified.
There's a bunch of these things. There's a bunch of things like that. They're just like,
Each cave was unique in design and hinted at a sophisticated yet mysterious civilization that had left no other record behind. Recognizing the potential historical and cultural significance of these caves, the Chinese government quickly stepped in. They took measures to protect the site and supported further scientific studies to explore these enigmatic structures more thoroughly. This governmental intervention mirrored the actions taken after other major archaeological discoveries in China, such as the Terracotta Army, uncovered by local farmers in Shaanxi in 1974.
It's a wonderful mystery, and it deserves much further attention.
Both the Longyu Caves and the Terracotta Army were stumbled upon by locals engaged in ordinary tasks, yet these finds were anything but ordinary. The Terracotta Army, part of Emperor Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum, features thousands of life-sized statues, each detailed with unique facial expressions and attire, clearly a tribute to the emperor's military forces. In contrast, the Longyu Caves, with their vast underground spaces expertly carved from solid rock, offer no such clues about their creators or their purpose, remaining shrouded in mystery.
We are just, I think, looking at the edges of a mystery. The archaeologists involved feel the same.
These discoveries significantly shifted our understanding of their respective eras. The Terracotta Army provided a window into the military aesthetics and rituals of the Qin dynasty, while the Longyu Caves have puzzled historians due to their lack of any historical documentation. Both sites have undergone intense scholarly scrutiny and ongoing research, as experts from around the world try to uncover the secrets they hold and the stories they might tell about the ancient peoples of China. These caves were cleverly concealed by the mountainous landscape and dense vegetation, which likely played a role in keeping them hidden for centuries. The region's rocky terrain further protected these man-made wonders from natural erosive forces, preserving their pristine condition through the ages. Advancements in technology have significantly aided in the exploration and mapping of these caves. Techniques such as laser scanning and ground-penetrating radar have been crucial in providing detailed information about the cave's dimensions and layout. Initially, surveys indicated that the caves covered an area of approximately 30,000 square meters, but ongoing exploration might extend this figure as more sections are discovered. The architectural consistency observed across the Longyu Caves is truly remarkable. Despite varying sizes and designs, each cave exhibits uniform craftsmanship with flat bases for pillars and symmetrical spacing of architectural elements. This uniformity suggests they were likely constructed under the centralized direction of a single authoritative entity, possibly a local ruler or a unified government during that era. The choice of siltstone for construction, a material easier to carve than granite or basalt, allowed for the creation of smooth walls and intricate carvings, showcasing an advanced understanding of material properties and structural engineering. This is evident in the high ceilings supported by massive stone pillars designed to distribute weight evenly throughout the caverns. The caves are not only a feat of engineering but also of artistry. The internal structures include complex water channels that likely serve to prevent flooding and maintain a stable internal environment, alongside ornate gutters and meticulously carved bridges that enhance both the functionality and aesthetics of these spaces. The scale of excavation involved is staggering, with an estimated 1 million cubic meters of rock removed using basic iron or bronze tools. This massive endeavor would have required thousands of laborers over several decades, if not centuries, highlighting the significant human effort and organization required. Detailed examinations of the tool marks and techniques on the cave walls offer archaeologists valuable insights into the technological capabilities of the time. Furthermore, carbon dating of some cave sections indicates their construction dates back to at least the Eastern Zhou dynasty, over 2,000 years ago. This ancient origin adds to the mystery and allure of the caves. The Longyu Caves, with their vast chambers and no historical records to explain their construction, have sparked a plethora of theories about their original purpose. One popular theory is that the caves were used as ancient storage silos. Researchers supporting this idea point to the stable temperature and humidity levels inside the caves, conditions ideal for storing perishables. The interior layout, featuring platforms and ledges, seems perfect for organizing goods, while the intricate water management systems might have been designed to control moisture levels, ensuring that stored items remained preserved. Another theory suggests that these caves served as royal tombs or burial sites for nobility. This wouldn't be out of place in ancient traditions worldwide, where elaborate resting places were often constructed for the elite. The extensive labor and detailed craftsmanship involved in creating the Longyu Caves imply they were built for significant individuals. However, the complete absence of artifacts or human remains commonly found in other tombs casts doubt on this theory. Some believe the caves had a religious or ceremonial purpose, considering how their secluded and quiet interiors would be suitable for spiritual activities. This aligns with the global historical trend of using caves for such purposes. The uniform design and orientation of the caves could suggest they were specifically planned for processions or religious ceremonies, although the lack of religious symbols or artifacts challenges this theory. A more practical perspective is that the caves were quarries. The theory posits that the caves were originally mined for stone, used in early Chinese imperial construction projects, though it doesn't account for why the stone wasn't used in any known structures nearby. Lastly, a more speculative idea is that the caves functioned as ancient astronomical observatories. Some suggest that the orientation of tunnels and openings within the caves aligns with specific celestial events, much like other historic astronomical sites.
But what's fascinating about them is this very powerful geometry and astronomy.
This would imply a sophisticated understanding of the stars by the creators of the Longyu Caves, though hard evidence for this theory is still lacking. When we compare the architectural marvels of the Longyu Caves in China with Petra in Jordan, also known as the Rose City, we dive into a fascinating study of ancient ingenuity and artistic mastery. Petra's structures are famously carved into the blush-colored sandstone cliffs, reflecting the elaborate and ornate aesthetic of the Nabateans around the 5th century BCE. Its most iconic structure, the treasury, is a perfect example of this, with a facade that is both monumental and intricately detailed, highlighting the peak of Nabatean craftsmanship. In contrast, the Longyu Caves are sculpted from siltstone, a material that presents different challenges and opportunities for the carvers. The finer grain of siltstone allowed ancient workers to achieve smooth finishes and sharp details in the cave walls and columns, offering a different kind of beauty from Petra's elaborate sandstone carvings. Unlike Petra's diverse architectural purposes, the Longyu Caves exhibit a uniform design across all the caverns, suggesting they were built with a singular purpose or design philosophy in mind. Both Petra and the Longyu were lost to the world until their relatively recent rediscovery. Petra was brought back into the public consciousness in 1812 by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, and since then it has reshaped much of our understanding of Middle Eastern history. Despite the grandeur and historical significance of both sites, they share a profound mystery: the absence of detailed historical records explaining their construction. While Petra does have some inscriptions and texts that offer minimal insights, the Longyu Caves are surrounded by complete silence in historical records, with no writings found to date that reference their creation. This lack of documentation has left historians and archaeologists piecing together clues and forming theories that range from practical to speculative in an effort to understand these magnificent constructions.
It's called Derinkuyu, and it's a marvel of engineering. The bottom line here is, just to throw it out there, they don't know who built it.
It is first referenced all the way back in 370 BC. Graham Hancock, it is also speculated by people such as him and others that this was a place where people who were living took shelter from the Ice Age.
The most important issue to me is the issue of a global cataclysm at the end of the Ice Age. What caused that cataclysm is a secondary issue. The cataclysm itself is the primary issue.
Imagine stumbling across a hidden door in your home that leads to an ancient underground city, extending deep into the Earth's crust and sprawling enough to shelter tens of thousands of people.
Just to put things into perspective, if you travel underground in Derinkuyu from end to end, you're going to walk 4 miles.
This isn't the plot of an Indiana Jones movie. It's the real-life discovery of Derinkuyu, the largest underground city in Turkey's historical region of Cappadocia. Carved from the soft volcanic rock and buried in secrecy, this subterranean labyrinth was not only a marvel of ancient engineering, but a crucial fortress in times of danger. This area is known for its soft volcanic rock formations called tuff, which are relatively easy to carve and were crucial in the development of numerous underground dwellings, with Derinkuyu being the most extensive. The city was rediscovered in 1963 by accident when a local man, during home renovations, knocked down a wall to find a passage leading to this vast ancient network.
And he took a sledgehammer to one of the walls, and when the walls came down, he saw that it was an opening into a cave.
This discovery unveiled a complex that extends more than 85 meters below the Earth's surface, hidden under what was thought to be just a typical Turkish rural settlement.
He had come to an opening where there were several other passages that he could take. And then he said, you know what, this is a little bit too much. So he ended up calling the authorities.
The origins of Derinkuyu are shrouded in mystery, but it is widely believed that the Phrygians, an ancient Indo-European people, initiated its construction in the 8th–7th centuries BCE. Over the centuries, various groups expanded it, especially during the Byzantine era as a sanctuary from the 7th to the 11th centuries amidst the Arab-Byzantine wars. The city served as a formidable refuge from Muslim-Arab incursions, capable of sheltering up to 20,000 people along with their livestock and supplies for extended periods. The city's architecture can be compared to that of a massive ancient submarine nestled under the rock, designed to be airtight and self-sufficient, mirroring a submarine's ability to provide safety against external perils with its life support systems. Derinkuyu is equipped with air shafts for ventilation and water wells that supported life independently from the outside world, protecting its inhabitants from the threats of war and invasion. The engineering marvel of Derinkuyu is as ingenious as it is expansive. The entire city was manually carved from volcanic rock, with corridors strategically designed to maximize space and functionality. It features everything necessary for prolonged underground life, including stables, churches, schools, and multiple storerooms.
The fact that they found a chapel gave to the theory that Christians were hiding there.
These spaces not only served their primary functions, but also doubled as meeting halls, illustrating a well-organized community capable of thriving under the surface. The city's layout and the architectural choices made reflect a profound understanding of both defensive strategy and urban planning, making Derinkuyu a fascinating study in ancient engineering and survival tactics. Continuing from the initial exploration of Derinkuyu's incredible architecture and its rediscovery, it's fascinating to delve deeper into the structural intricacies that make it a marvel of ancient engineering. The grandeur of Derinkuyu isn't just in its vast size. The sophisticated design carved from the region's soft volcanic rock showcases its complexity. The city extends about 85 meters underground and is capable of accommodating up to 20,000 people along with their livestock and essential supplies. The city is structured across 18 levels with only 8 open to the public. These levels are interlinked by miles of tunnels, each meticulously designed for both functionality and defense. The effort required to excavate and shape this massive subterranean complex is reminiscent of the monumental work seen in the Great Pyramids of Egypt, highlighting the extraordinary capabilities of ancient civilizations with limited technological means.
That actually is one of the moments when I realized how difficult the Great Pyramid must have been to build. With all the blocks and supposedly a huge workforce, so whatever the Egyptologists imagined was done, and I don't believe anybody knows how it was done.
Yeah. One of the most pivotal features of Derinkuyu is its ventilation system, which includes over 15,000 narrow ducts, ensuring that fresh air circulates even to the lowest depths. This advanced engineering is akin to modern skyscraper technologies used to manage airflow efficiently across large buildings. Security was also a key element in the city's design. The narrow entrances forced individuals to bend while navigating the tunnels, a strategic choice that limited easy access by invaders. These could be further secured by large stone doors, which could be rolled across to block the passages, much like bunker doors in contemporary military uses. The internal layout of Derinkuyu suggests a highly organized society was at work here. The city included residential areas, communal spaces, stables, and ample storage facilities for food and wine, indicating a complex communal life that could be compared to modern cooperative living communities. Moreover, the sophisticated water system featuring an extensive network of wells and channels not only provided fresh water, but also protected its inhabitants from external threats, much like the aqueducts of ancient Rome. Religious and ceremonial sites were central to life in Derinkuyu. Numerous chapels and churches were intricately carved into the rock, replete with altars and baptismal fonts. The largest chapel, with a cruciform design at the city's deepest level, echoes the secretive religious practices of early Christians in the Roman catacombs, serving both as places of worship and safe havens. In this way, Derinkuyu was not just a place of refuge, but a beacon of ancient innovation, reflecting the depth of human creativity and resilience. Through its architectural wonders, this underground city continues to reveal the complexities of ancient life and the advanced understanding of urban planning and design that characterized early civilizations. Continuing the exploration of Cappadocia's fascinating underground cities, let's turn our attention to Kaymakli, which shares many historical similarities with Derinkuyu, yet presents a unique architectural narrative. Both cities date back to the 7th and 8th centuries BCE and are carved from the region's soft volcanic rock, known as tuff. This material has been integral to the development of the extensive subterranean networks for which the area is famous. However, Kaymakli differentiates itself by spreading more extensively across a horizontal plane rather than delving deeper into the earth, indicating a different approach in its architectural design and strategic planning. Kaymakli's layout is an architecturally sophisticated network spread over 8 levels, though today only 4 of these levels are open to visitors. The city's extensive horizontal spread creates a labyrinthine network of tunnels and rooms that have been strategically designed to enhance defensive capabilities. The maze-like passageways and narrow tunnels are particularly noteworthy as they restrict movement and effectively force potential invaders to move in single file. This design not only made it easier to defend the city, but also demonstrated a highly advanced understanding of urban planning and warfare strategy. By incorporating such intricate defense mechanisms directly into the city's architecture, Kaymakli's builders ensured that their city was not just a place to live, but a fortress capable of withstanding potential sieges. Through its sprawling tunnels and smartly designed bottlenecks, this underground city exemplifies the incredible ingenuity of ancient Cappadocian civilizations in adapting their urban constructions to meet both the needs of their communities and the demands of their security. Building on the fascinating historical and architectural narrative of Kaymakli, it's interesting to delve deeper into the specifics of its design and how these elements contributed to its functionality as both a living space and a fortress. The architectural network within Kaymakli is a testament to the engineering prowess of its ancient builders. The expansive maze of tunnels and rooms wasn't just for daily living, it was crucial for defense. The narrow, winding passageways, many just tall enough to force a person to stoop, acted as natural deterrents during enemy incursions. These cramped quarters significantly disadvantaged taller individuals and large groups who could be easily ambushed by the city's defenders. The city was ingeniously planned to support a complete societal structure underground. Each floor of Kaymakli could function as an independent unit, equipped with all the necessities for prolonged isolation. The layout of Kaymakli bears striking similarities to the mythological labyrinth of King Minos in Crete, designed to disorient and trap the Minotaur. Like this ancient labyrinth, Kaymakli's complex network of passageways was strategically designed to protect its inhabitants by maximizing defensive advantages and restricting enemy movement. This design reflects the defensive architecture that is typical of ancient Cappadocian settlements. Unlike Derinkuyi's vertical expansions, Kaymakli's more horizontal spread allowed for easier communication and movement of troops within the city during emergencies, offering a strategic edge. Overall, Kaymakli not only showcases the architectural innovations of its time, but also symbolizes the ingenuity of ancient societies in leveraging their environment for survival. From its communal living spaces to its defensive mechanisms, the city illustrates a sophisticated understanding of urban planning and military defense that was remarkably advanced for its era.
Well, hello from the Giant's Causeway on the north coast of Northern Ireland, where we have some incredible breaking news for you. Unconfirmed reports that the giant Finn McCool has gone into winter hibernation. There was the unmistakable sound of snoring coming from within the mountain. Through the winter time, of course, he's hibernating. Sure, don't all mythological creatures hibernate through the winter?
Did ancient giants once roam the rugged coasts of Northern Ireland, meticulously constructing what we now admire as the Giant's Causeway? This stunning formation, comprising thousands of interlocking basalt columns, captivates with its geometric perfection and mystifying origins.
They're finding these giant geometrical earthworks and evidence of very large populations.
While scientific explorations attribute these awe-inspiring structures to volcanic activities, local legends and ancient tales suggest otherwise, hinting at colossal figures sculpting this landscape.
I have heard more stories about giants, and I have found that there is support for this.
As we delve deeper, parallels with other enigmatic megalithic sites, such as the colossal Baalbek stones, stir the imagination.
This is called the Trilithon. Each of these 3 blocks weighs 900 tons.
Could there be a grain of truth to these myths? Join us as we explore the blurred lines between myth and geology at the Giant's Causeway, a place where history and folklore dance delicately on the edges of reality. Nestled on the rugged northeast coast of Northern Ireland in County Antrim, the Giant's Causeway is a breathtaking natural wonder, celebrated not only for its geological uniqueness, but also for its deep roots in local mythology.
This is biology. The size of these creatures it's staggering.
Formed from a volcanic fissure eruption some 50 to 60 million years ago, during the Paleocene epoch, the causeway consists of roughly 40,000 interlocking basalt columns. These columns are predominantly hexagonal, although there is a fascinating variety in their shapes, with some exhibiting 4, 5, 7, or even 8 sides. This variety adds a unique character to the causeway's overall appearance, making it a subject of interest not only for tourists, but also for geologists and nature enthusiasts. The allure of the Giant's Causeway is magnified by the legendary tales of Finn McCool, or Fionn Mac Cumhaill, a giant renowned for his strength and wisdom, who is said to have called the Antrim coast his home. According to Gaelic mythology, Finn was once challenged by the Scottish giant Benandonna. Rather than shrink from this daunting adversary, Finn constructed the causeway across the North Channel as a means to meet his foe without the peril of the sea.
Finn started throwing boulders into the sea, creating a rocky bridge where Benandonna resided.
This act of engineering is depicted as a monumental feat, showcasing Finn's resourcefulness and might. The tales take a humorous turn when Finn, realizing Benandonna's imposing size, relies on his wife Una's cunning to save him. She disguises Finn as a baby, and when Benandonna sees the size of the infant, he flees in terror, destroying the causeway behind him to prevent pursuit.
If that was the size of the baby, just how huge was the father?
This clever twist not only highlights the wit often celebrated in Irish folklore, but also underlines the cultural significance of storytelling in understanding and preserving history. Drawing an interesting parallel, the causeway shares thematic elements with Norse mythology's Bifrost, the burning rainbow bridge that connects Midgard, the realm of humanity, to Asgard, the home of the gods. Both structures, whether connecting lands or realms, symbolize significant passageways in their respective mythologies, embodying themes of challenge and transition. Today, the Giant's Causeway stands as a major tourist destination, attracting visitors from around the world who seek to immerse themselves in its natural beauty and legendary tales. It plays a pivotal role in the cultural heritage of Northern Ireland, embodying a blend of humor, bravery, and cleverness, key traits cherished in Irish folklore. The enduring popularity of these legends ensures that the mythical and natural heritage of the Giant's Causeway continues to inspire awe and pride, bridging the gap between the past and the present. The Giant's Causeway, steeped in local myth, gradually made its mark on the broader European consciousness of natural wonders, thanks to Sir Richard Bulkeley's pivotal 1692 presentation to the Royal Society. This presentation marked the inception of the scientific exploration that would span centuries, exploring the intriguing natural formation on the northeast coast of Northern Ireland. Sir Richard Bulkeley, a member of the prestigious Royal Society and a fellow at Trinity College, Dublin, played a crucial role in introducing the Giant's Causeway to the scientific community. Though the specifics of his presentation are not well documented, his mention of the causeway was clearly intended to spark curiosity and scientific investigation. This early academic nod was instrumental, paving the way for the causeway to be studied under the emerging scientific methodologies of the Enlightenment, attracting the attention of geologists and natural philosophers.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
The 18th century saw a burgeoning scientific interest in the natural world, with the Giant's Causeway becoming a focal point of study. The unusual basaltic columns drew scientists, prompted by Bulkeley's mention, to theorize about their origins. This period was marked by significant debates, notably between Neptunism and Plutonism. Neptunism posited that the rocks had formed from minerals crystallizing in the oceans, suggesting that the causeway's columns were sedimentary deposits. In contrast, Plutonism argued these structures were the result of volcanic activity, where molten basalt cooled and contracted to form the hexagonal columns. Championed by James Hutton in the late 18th century, Platonism eventually won out and is now the accepted explanation for the formation of the Giant's Causeway. Turning our gaze to a similar marvel, Fingal's Cave on the Scottish island of Staffa offers a compelling parallel to the Giant's Causeway. Both are characterized by strikingly similar hexagonal basalt formations, and both are steeped in connected folklore. Fingal's Cave is said to be named after the same giant linked to the causeway. This shared geology and lore have spurred theories of a possible geological bridge once connecting Ireland and Scotland, highlighting not only the shared natural wonders, but also the rich cultural ties between the two regions through their legends. This comparison deepens our appreciation of how geological formations can weave together the fabric of myths across lands. Fingal's Cave on the uninhabited island of Staffa is a place where geological wonder meets literary inspiration. Its discovery by the modern world came in 1772 when Sir Joseph Banks, already famed for his voyage with Captain James Cook, explored the cave. During his tour of Scotland, he was struck by the natural architecture of the cave. Banks's vivid descriptions in his letters and journals captivated the British public and intellectuals alike, spreading its fame far and wide. His portrayal helped cement the cave's status as a natural wonder, drawing artists, writers, and eventually tourists, especially during the popular Grand Tour period in Europe. The name Fingal's Cave owes its origin to James Macpherson's literary work, which claimed to translate ancient Gaelic poetry, although it was later debated and considered largely his own creation. Nonetheless, the popularity of these poems romanticized Scottish history and added a mythical quality to the cave, linking it with the hero Fingal. This association not only named the cave, but also framed it within a narrative of heroic deeds and a mystic past, reinforcing it as a symbol of Scottish pride and identity. The cave itself is a geological marvel, formed through the cooling and solidification of lava. This process starts when a large lava flow cools uniformly, causing it to contract and fracture into long, symmetrical columns, mostly hexagonal in cross-section. This phenomenon is not only rare, but also visually stunning, contributing significantly to the cave's fame. Inside, the cave's structure is grand and cathedral-like, standing about 72 feet high and stretching around 270 feet back into the cliffs. The roof arches naturally, and the floor, partially submerged, is constantly washed by seawater, enhancing the cave's eerie and mystical sounds. Moreover, Fingal's Cave is renowned for its extraordinary acoustics. The structure of the cave, combined with the rhythmic sounds of the ocean, creates a haunting soundscape that echoes against the basalt columns. This auditory feature significantly influences the cave's allure and has inspired numerous artists, playing a crucial role in the cave's artistic legacy. Through its natural beauty and the echoes of its columns, Fingal's Cave continues to be a source of fascination and inspiration, weaving together the strands of nature, myth, and art.